We're back with more on Ukraine's recovery conference in London, where leaders from more than 60 countries are gathered. Now, as mentioned, Japan's foreign ministry says that its meeting could be held at the end of this year. It aims to renew Tokyo's commitment rebuilding Ukraine, which is still at war with neighbouring Russia. For more, Julia Chapman joins us live. She is in London. Julia, what major outcomes have actually been achieved as all these leaders wrap up day 2 of the conference?
Well, this has really been about getting the best minds together to look at ways that Ukraine's reconstruction can be funded, looking at ways to do this outside the box, because as Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal has pointed out, he doesn't believe that the Ukrainian people should be forced to pay for what he calls Russian aggression, nor should the taxpayers in countries that have been backing Ukraine in its defense against the Russian invasion. So looking for other methods of fundraising in order to help Ukraine start rebuilding is what has really been the focus here. And we heard earlier from Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission president, who put her backing behind an idea that Russian central bank reserves held in the European Union could actually end up in some way becoming part of the reconstruction fund. This is a very controversial idea, one that hasn't really been discussed in any seriousness yet so far. But there is certainly momentum being gained, and the idea being, the suggestion being that the profits from investing some of the interest from the cash that's held in the European Union on Russia's central bank reserves could be diverted towards Ukraine's reconstruction fund. It wouldn't take any money away from these frozen reserves. It's simply the profits that they would be gaining on the market. But there are all kinds of legal implications here, political ones too. This certainly isn't a widespread idea yet, but the first signs are showing that this is something that is starting to be considered very seriously.
There's plenty of potential sources for these funds, but Ukraine is optimistic about just how much is going to be put into that fund. Have, what has been contributed or pledged rather so far actually come anywhere close to what the country might be expecting, though, Julia?
Certainly not yet. Ukraine says that it needs around 16 billion US dollars in the near future to just address its most basic and urgent needs for rebuilding basic infrastructure, energy infrastructure that is occasionally targeted, hospitals, other areas that it is struggling to finance on a day-to-day basis. This is just to get the country running to a minimal level, never mind looking more long-term at how the country can get back on its feet along the line, particularly after this war ends. The estimate at the moment is that in the first year of the conflict, the damage done cost around 400 billion US dollars to Ukraine. That is a number that is only going up with every day of this conflict. And there is huge concern, not just in Kyiv, but among international partners who have been supporting Kyiv, that this is going to be a really difficult project to finance. But partners don't want to leave Ukraine on its own. They are working together to find more funding. Some countries have been making pledges in the last couple of days, but the real focus has been looking for alternative options as well.
Julia, thank you for that. Julia Chapman there in London.